Good evening, I'm meteorologist Tony Petrarca in the Pinpoint 12 Forecast Center. An update on a messy storm that's coming up for the weekend. It's really a little bit of everything, not just snow, but some sleet, some freezing rain, and for a short time, some rain. And that would hold down the snowfall accumulations a little bit, but we still anticipate some snow accumulations. It doesn't look extreme as far as the amount of snow. We'd probably call it a moderate snowfall, but enough of it, along with some ice and freezing rain on top of that, to really make travel pretty slippery for a portion of the weekend. So let's get started, and things that we're watching. Well, for one, just dry weather for this evening. In fact, even Saturday day, the daylight hours will be dry. Precipitation should be kicking in Saturday evening. We think around 9 o'clock is the start time. And of course, watching our weekend storm. Again, not just snow, but sleet, rain, and freezing rain. And really more concerned about the sleet and the freezing rain. You know, that could be problematic as well in terms of travel, and of course freezing rain adheres to tree limbs and power lines, so we'll talk about that and the power outage potential. And then as the storm pulls away Sunday evening, Sunday night, some of the coldest air of the season, albeit brief, rushing in. So by Monday, Martin Luther King Monday, sub-zero wind chills and bitterly cold. So whatever's on the ground, whether it's slush, wet snow, standing water on Sunday afternoon and night, it will freeze solid, black ice, and very difficult snow to remove if it freezes solid. So if you can remove some of that wet, slushy snow on Sunday morning, you can avoid having that, kind of freeze into like cement. So nice start, decent start to the day for tomorrow morning. We'll start off with a bit of sunshine. It'll be dry, chilly, sunrise temperature at about 25. And then during the afternoon, clouds are on the increase, but we're staying dry through as late as 6 o'clock in the evening. Temperatures at that time are in the low 30s. So the timeline on all of this, as far as the snow starting around 9 o'clock on Saturday night, it becomes heavier midnight and beyond. Turns out the bulk of our accumulating snow will occur while most of us are actually asleep. So by the time you wake up early Sunday morning, 4, 5, 6 a.m., if you're up that early, it's going over to sleet and freezing rain inland and a plain non-freezing rain along the south shore in the Cape. Now, it won't take long later Sunday morning, especially during the afternoon. Temperature's just going to drop rapidly. Everything's going to freeze up. So any sleet and freezing rain will switch back over to snow, though light snow during the late afternoon and early evening hours coming up on Sunday. So on the local satellite photo, we're quiet. Our storm is across the Central Plains, that area of low pressure, and this is going to track off to the east and northeast. A lot of moisture with it, arriving in our area Saturday evening, Saturday night through most of Sunday. In fact, here's a forecast track. Let's put this into motion, and we'll take you into, this is 11 a.m. It's the storm, the shield of snow, still across the Midwest. Notice here in New England, we're still dry. Advance this now to about 8, 9 o'clock in the evening. You see the snow right on our doorstep. That blue represents snow. And that's arriving in the evening. And for a time, it's going to come down pretty heavy, especially, midnight, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. It may snow at the rate of an inch per hour. And then once we get towards daybreak, you start to see the areas of pink indicating either sleet or freezing rain, and green representing all rain. So I'm not expecting any snow by 7 a.m., but rather sleet and freezing rain. And then this will eventually switch back over to light snow as the storm pulls away on Sunday night. But even 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we're still getting elements of sleet and some freezing rain. As far as precipitation type, it'll stay all snow, mainly north of the Mass Pike, northern New England. Big snows for ski country. Most of our area, it's a little bit of everything: snow, ice to rain, and then back over to snow. As far as accumulations, and this is what we were going with last night as well, kind of really two zones in our area: a 1 to 3 inch zone and a 3 to 6 inch zone. I feel confident that we'll verify at least on the low end of this. So in that 1 to 3, we'll easily get 1, and in that 3 to 6 zone, we'll easily get 3. Now, if we get higher amounts, it'll be because the switch to sleet and freezing rain is delayed. And if the amounts are lower, it's because that sleet, freezing rain changeover arrives sooner. But the net result will be net snow on the ground before we switch over to sleet and freezing rain. This is the other concern. Freezing rain. This forecast map, these contours are not snow accumulations, but rather ice accumulation in tenths of an inch. Usually when you get to a half inch of ice accumulating on trees and power lines, you start to get them compromised as far as braking and power outages. So we're near that threshold in some areas, and this is something that we'll watch very closely. Quite simply, the clouds above our heads are warm enough for rain, but as it falls into the cold air near the ground, it just glazes up on tree limbs and power lines, and the magnitude of this icing will determine whether or not these limbs and power lines break, and whether or not we get any power outages. That possibility is there. Look at the big temperature drop. Now this is 9 o'clock Sunday morning. It's in the 30s. Watch this cold air rushing in as the winds turn northeast. Real big drop. So by Sunday evening at 8 o'clock, it's already down to like 13 degrees, and everything is just freezing up solid. So here's your 7-day forecast and your messy weather for Saturday night, Sunday. Martin Luther King Monday is windy but dry, but unfortunately bitterly cold. 13 degrees for the high, and wind chills below zero. Little moderation in temperature by midweek, and next chance for precipitation like Wednesday, Thursday, leading more towards rain rather than snow, with temperatures that'll climb back up into the 30s and even 40s. So that's the latest. Certainly check back with us. I'll be back tonight at 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock on Eyewitness News for updates, and Pete Mangione in tomorrow morning with your updated forecast as well. I'm meteorologist Tony Petrarca. Thanks for logging in.